This meeting to order, please. Roll call, please, B.
Here.
Here.
Yes, here. Here.
Here. All right, first order of business tonight would be the acceptance of the minutes from November 23rd, 2021. Has everybody had a chance to review?
Yes.
Yes.
You all good?
Yes.
Yes.
No revisions, amendments? All good, okay. Can I have a motion to accept the minutes as written?
I make a motion to accept.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. All right, second order of business tonight is a public hearing, appeal number 217741. Richard and Erica Garland seeking an area variance, section 24037 of district regulations in an R20 zoning district, where 20 feet to the side yard left property line is required. The applicant can provide 17.5 feet for the installation of a 15 by 30 by 54 above-ground pool, thus requesting a variance of 2.5 feet. The property is located at 110 Kent Road on .49 acres and is identified as tax grid number 625804713-096 in the town of Wappinger. Can I have a motion, please, to open the public hearing?
Motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Okay, Richard and/or Erica, have you in presence tonight? Please step up to the mic. For,
Or both.
yeah, or both. Yeah. Either one is fine. Okay, for the benefit of, just state your name and address, please, for the record.
Erica Garland, 110 Kent Road, Wappingers Falls, New York, 12590.
Great. Just for the benefit of the board and any folks listening in, quick overview of what you need and why you need it.
Just installing a pool so my kids can swim.
Got it. Now, of course, we were all there, you know, I'm sure David was out. the
I mean, out
following
this
day,
morning,
right?
yeah.
So we saw what you got going on. Thank you for having the lines pinned and staked and painted. Yeah, we ultimately found the orange paint. Pretty straightforward, guys. I mean, I don't have any additional questions. You guys were very helpful when we were there. We just cautioned you that when the contract ultimately does come, to double check your measurements, okay, to make sure that it's going where it's supposed to go.
Yep.
They don't always do that, so just be diligent to
Okay.
do that. You
Absolutely.
guys have any other questions?
I was going to ask if there's anybody else.
Well, I was gonna ask the public.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Right, anybody at
That's
the
the only
board
thing I
have
was
any
gonna say.
questions? No? Anybody in the public here to speak on behalf of this application?
Yeah, I'm the neighbor who,
Would you want to come up to the microphone, please?
Do you want me to sit down?
Sure, yes.
Okay.
Just state your name and address, please.
Keith Fiore, it's 204 All Angels Hill Road, property adjacent to 110 Kent Road.
Gotcha.
So I'm in acceptance of the proposed area of it being like 17 and a half feet from property margin. So upon that being in consideration to the measurements that you've agreed to and how the pool will be laid out, and everything's fine.
And you're good. Now, you're the property owner that is based kind of in their backyard. But it's
Yeah,
their
so
inland,
my
right?
backyard, well,
The one
my
you have the
side
pool?
yard.
Side yard.
Yeah, it's like a side, so the
Right.
front faces All Angels.
Right.
And
It's a little,
the side, yeah.
it's one of those front yards, really the side yard kind of a thing.
Sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Well,
you.
thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
your information. Anybody else? Please step up and let us know. Just your name and address, please.
Thomas Massey, Massey, 106 Kent Road. We're about 3 houses down, right on Kent Road. And we looked at this thing and we thought, we came here really to support them and say that we have no objection, and it doesn't affect us really in any way, but we would just like to say, urge you to approve it. It's only 2.5 feet, so it doesn't seem like it's going to be a big issue anywhere around.
Okay. Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you for stepping up. Anybody else in the audience? Okay, can I have a motion, please, to close the public hearing?
Motion.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Motion, John. Second, David. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
So moved. All right, could I have a motion, please, to grant or deny the applicant the variance?
I'll make a motion that we grant the variance. This requested variance will not produce an undesirable change in character in the neighborhood. It is not a substantial detriment to nearby properties. There is no other feasible method available to the property owners to get what they want to do. The requested variance is not substantial. The proposed variance will not have an adverse effect or impact physical and environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district. The alleged difficulty is self-created, but therefore I still think that we should grant.
Okay, could I have a second, please?
Second.
Okay, roll call B?
Yes.
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 Yes. Your variance has been granted. You're free to go.
And you got some nice neighbors, guys.
So you'll get a call about the permit with the holiday somewhere in the next week or so. Okay? She has to do paperwork and it still has to go through the building department. Actually, you have to
Jiffy Lube
submit
wanna put
things, I
in
think, don't you? For the building, I think yours, was it yours that said, full information will be supplied.
Yep, I can.
This Jiffy Lube stuff, did you get to look at it?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye, happy
Bye now.
holidays.
You're very
Good luck.
welcome. Have a good night. Have a good holiday.
You need an invitation to the pool party.
All right. Third order of business tonight, appeal number 217742, Jiffy Lube International, Inc., seeking an area variance, section 24037 of the district regulations in an SC zoning district, where 75 feet is required to a county or state road. The applicant can provide 57.3 feet for the construction of a new building to allow necessary circulation and enhanced vehicular safety, thus requesting a variance of 17.7 feet. The property is located at 1506 Route 9 and is identified as tax grid number 615702653974 in the town of Wappinger. Can I have a motion, please, to open the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to open public hearing.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So, okay, please state your name, please.
Yes, my name is Brady Carlucci.
Craig? Gotcha. Okay, Craig, for the benefit of the public and the board, just quick description of what you need, why you need it.
Yes, we are requesting, well, first to give a quick overview of the project. Propose to redevelop the .78 acre portion of the shopping center at 1506 Route 9. As part of the lease agreement with the Wappinger Shopping Center LLC. We are proposing a 3,057 square foot Jiffy Lube that would be within the Sonic
Existing Sonic, right?
building. We are requesting a variance for the setback from Route 9. As identified with the markings on site, we would be asking for variance of 17.7 feet, which is fairly close to the existing footprint of the Sonic restaurant that is there today.
Yeah, we were out at the site, thank you for having it marked out. You know, it was very clear, the corner of the new building, you know, and the setback line as well was identified, which was very helpful to us, you know, looking at, comparing it to the plans and what you actually have out there, right? The additional plans that you sent kind of cleared things up a little bit. You know, when we last met last time, we had a little discrepancy on some of the numbers, but we fully, right.
Talking about this guy, right?
Right. We understand now that the new building footprint, right, is not exactly the same as the existing Sonic. right? But the dimensions that you provided to us show the distance you will need to the new building footprint versus the Sonic. I also thought I saw a print, I think David had, we had superimposed one footprint on top of it. You guys have a chance to look at that? You know, that, where we have that.
Yeah, that's what I was emailed
Is
with.
it this, the little one?
And this one is the footprint of the Jiffy Lube, but there's another print, this one, that has the existing building, right, and the new Jiffy Lube building superimposed on it. So you got two footprints. So it makes it a little clearer on what we were looking at the other day. I mean, what they identified in the field was their footprint, right? Where they showed us the corner of their new building, you know, versus what the existing building was. And they had dashed marked where the setback line was as well. So they really, in reality, have the 64 feet, 64.3 feet to the edge of road. Rather than republish and go through all that, right, the zoning board is going to rule on the existing application, correct?
So I guess I'm looking at the new plans, and
Yes.
it's showing that they have 92 feet to the curb.
To the curb.
What is the number from the building to the property line? Because that's what the variance is, not to the pavement.
Right.
Because it's a DOT right-of-way, so obviously they own some of the grassed area off
Right.
pavement.
That's the 60, my understanding, that's the 64.3
Is that the
feet.
64?
Yes.
Okay.
Right, right.
64 feet.
That's to the edge of the right-of-way. From the corner of the building to the edge of the right-of-way.
All right, because it's not on the new plan.
It is.
It
Is
is
it?
on
Where am I
It's on
missing?
this one, yeah.
all the way bottom.
Yeah,
Where is it on?
so in this dash line is the setback, is 10.7 is the
The
actual.
one that we just got today, Barbie?
Yeah.
The bottom.
It's kind of like at the bottom, maybe? Very, very bottom of the
Oh, I
page.
see.
Yeah, bottom left.
Right, that's the setback line, that's
Yeah,
the
it's-
corner of the building, you gotta
All
kind
right,
of,
so
It's, yeah,
the dimensional lines.
Not easy to
kind of
follow.
extend.
that's not typical. Okay,
So this
so I
is
just
really
wanted to verify that the
Yeah.
number
They're applying for.
is what you're going to grant.
So rather than republish and go through, you know, discussion, a whole hearing, we are going to rule on the application as written, right? Because the variance you actually need will be less than what we ultimately will rule on tonight. Understood?
Understood?
You guys all understand that?
Yeah, but I would
Right.
like to make a
So-
correction.
When-
I like to make correction that we should go with the least variance required.
Correct.
So to meet the least requirement will be 10'7", right? That's what we should be
Right,
approving by.
right.
10.7 feet,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what we're, that's what we're doing.
That's it. Okay.
Do you understand that, Tom?
no, I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Okay, so the variance as it was written originally,
Yeah.
right, is, it would be greater than what they actually need. I'm sorry, less than what they actually need. In reality, they have or can provide 64.3 feet
Okay.
to the edge of road.
Right.
Right, their application is written, is requesting a variance where they would have 57.3 feet.
We changed that last time,
Right,
because we thought that might be the number.
right.
Yeah.
Right. So, the 57.3 feet as it's written tonight is less than what they really need.
So where is it written? Because I still see 64.3 on the application.
Right, so they were correct when they first applied
Right.
for the 64.3 and needing 10.7.
Right.
But on the last plan, the way it was superimposed, we weren't sure. So by going by the larger setback in the public hearing, you can always go less, but you couldn't go more. So we just hedged our bets just in case. So now we can reduce the variance from, that they would require with the bigger number, or the lesser number, from 17.7 to back to what they originally asked
10.7.
for, which is 10.7.
Correct.
I believe, if I may, that the confusion was that the Sonic building is actually more catty-cornered
Yes.
towards Route 9, and people were looking at this corner of the old building,
Sorry.
and that was 57 feet.
Right.
I think that's what the confusion was.
And the new building is gonna be at that 64.3 feet.
Right, it was unclear last time, what the actual Jiffy Lube footprint was versus the existing Sonic footprint. So then tonight, Barbara, will we rule on the variance as written on the agenda or change the numbers?
No, you have to state, when you approve it, that after getting new information and a new survey, that we now have proof that they have 64.3 feet, and the variance that you will be granting, should you grant, since that's the way you go, would be the 10.7.
Okay,
And then that would be the variance.
okay, got it. Is if we all understand that?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so,
I have one other question unrelated to that. It seems like the building almost could be done as of right, either by extending, you know, the end portion, which I assume is offices and waiting areas, you know, into kind of this void at the bottom. Is there a reason that's setting this shape the way it is, or is it like a standard layout that you guys are going with? It just seems like it's so close, like, to being a shape that would fit within the setback.
Yeah, it is the standard layout, and then that's optimized for the internal usage within the facility itself.
Okay.
understood.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sure that Jiffy Lubes are the same wherever you put a Jiffy Lube, right? That footprint is gonna be pretty similar no matter where it goes. Where all the internal parts and pieces need to fit within that shell.
On this side, you know, further away from the street, the critical dimension, I guess, is at 24 feet for the road at the top. Is that accurate?
For the critical dimension for which?
Well, like, what is stopping this, the entire building from shifting this way? It's the 24-foot roadway
Yeah, it's
to loop
the
around?
internal circulation, correct, from the right-of-way that comes across the front of the existing shopping center, and then for us to have our,
Okay, because this arrow is the anticipated right away, right? You wouldn't be pulling straight in, you know, 'cause it seems like you could pull it straight in from this side also, right?
we would, no, we would only come in the direction as shown, and we
Okay.
wouldn't reverse the flow.
Yeah, because it seems like the parking lot would allow you to go that way also, but you basically have to go the way you're shown on this.
Correct.
Okay.
You guys have any other questions? No, sir. Pretty good. Is there anybody in the audience that has any questions, comments regarding this application? Okay. Could I have a motion, please, to close the public hearing?
Motion to close.
Have a second?
Secondly.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Okay, so now, we are going to rule on the variance. However, we are going to rule on it with the new dimensions. So could I have a motion, please, to grant or deny the applicant the variance based on the new dimensions, and we'll state the new dimensions as set forth. I'll make a motion to grant the applicant the variance. The variance, however, is going to differ because the applicant can now provide by proven survey 64.3 feet to the corner of the building. Thus, the variance would be a 10.7-foot variance. And everybody understands that, correct? Okay. So the benefit cannot be achieved by any other feasible means. There'll be no undesirable change to the neighborhood. I mean, pretty much the footprint is very close to what's already there. The request is not substantial, and it will not create any adverse effects to the environment. Benefits is self-created, however, not enough to change my ruling. So I will grant the applicant the variance. Could I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call, please, B.
Yes.
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 Yes. So your applicant, your variance has been granted. Okay, no. Okay.
Just for the record, since this, you're going to be returning back to the planning board, once Mr. Ganti does the approval process in the office, copies will be sent to the planning board members and to the consultants so they know that this has been granted.
Next item on the agenda this evening would be a discussion, is appeal number 217743, Sarah and Christopher Suarez seeking an area variance, section 24037 of district regulations in an R20/40 zoning district, where 50 feet is required to the rear yard property line. The applicant can provide 22 foot 6 inches to allow for an addition to include a dining room, bedroom, and laundry/mudroom, thus requesting a variance of 27 foot 4 inches. The property is located at 1 Piggy Lane and is identified as tax grid number 615703497297 in the town of Wappinger. Okay. State your name, please, and your
My name is
address.
Garrett Leggett, and I'm from Danes-Tecumseh Engineers.
Gotcha.
So I'm representing the homeowners
The
today.
applicant?
Yep.
Sure.
So a little bit about the project. What's going on now, in the rear of the property, there is a screened-in porch, and there's also a pre-built deck that's been there since they bought the home. What we're planning on doing is pretty much putting the addition over the same footprint. It does grow.
Sure.
What's the color on there? 'Cause I like the color, you know, so. We have here, this is the original screen-in porch with the wooden deck to the side. So what I show here is the green part coming out. This would be the addition where it overlaps. They're actually gonna leave a portion of the original deck. In doing so, they're moving a bedroom from within the home out into the addition to expand the dining room, which was almost non-existent before. And the new, the space that was removed from the bedroom is, I believe, now just gonna be an expanded bathroom.
So the footprint of the home is getting bigger as well?
The addition part, yes.
Yeah.
Because of it.
It's not within the same footprint, it would be nice if it was, but I couldn't make that happen.
Follow you.
So, originally, you know, the corner of this
Mhm.
porch and screened-in porch area was roughly 24 feet.
Yep.
With this coming over, and you go along the same line, it's still
Yeah.
22 feet.
Petition's different.
So
22 or 24 feet?
it's 24 originally.
Right.
With the new addition, it did come out a little
Oh, I
bit
see.
more.
So it's 22
So
now.
it's 22.6,
Gotcha,
close, so
Yep.
gotcha.
Okay.
I'm sure that the addition, siding, and all that'll match the existing
Yeah.
as best as possible.
I think they're looking to match the existing. They may even redo the entire
Whole
home,
thing.
so everything's uniform.
Looks the same.
Yep,
Gotcha.
the pitch of the roofs and everything will be the same. It's gonna tie in.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, the plan's there, but it's just not,
Yeah, we're
I
the same.
put some color on it, so
Yeah, I
it's
like
easier
your
to see.
colors better.
Yeah.
Does have, sketch of course. What's that?
It stays, so.
Yeah, single story. Single story.
Yep, all single story.
Yeah. Let's see, the next section.
So what is the deck size, original deck size?
Does have a big-
What's that? I'm sorry?
The screen deck. What is the size of that one?
I don't recall offhand what it was
Okay, I would
originally. I
need-
believe the new addition is 13 feet out.
Oh,
I did put a few here. I haven't.
so 13 is 11 and a
I
half.
believe the original deck was 12 feet.
Right.
And we're about 13 and a half feet now.
Oh,
13 and a half feet.
yeah.
So the whole addition, I believe, is 30 feet.
The original screen-in porch, did that need a variance?
Yes, that's the question.
I would imagine it
But
probably did at some
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Hey, do you know if the original screen-in porch had a variance, or was this
It may
pre?
have, but it was built so many decades ago, the
Yeah.
zoning could have been smaller. In fact, the zoning now is 2040. So if he had well and septic, if he had municipal water and municipal sewer, he would have only needed 40 feet to the rear. But not having either, he needs 50, because then the R40 1 acre rules. So back then at the zoning, you know, not knowing who approved it, the zoning might have been lesser. So the fact that he's not using the same footprint and they are expanding the size, any new construction has to meet today's zoning, which is what brings him in here. So even if they would have shrunk that by 2 feet, the fact that it's new, it wouldn't have mattered
Still.
at that point. He still would have had to come before you.
It's not like
It just seems like there's an argument that he's keeping it within the same boundary, but if, you know, that boundary was kind of illegally constructed anyways,
Well, it is bigger.
yeah.
He does head toward the rear, what, 2 feet?
Yes, but 2.5, right, nice. 20.
Oh, I missed that, Dave, that illegally constructed, were you guys having a discussion about that?
What we were just talking about if that existing screen-in porch had a variance, or if it was, you know, a different code, or, I don't know that we know.
So certain things that were built in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, in some zones, they might have only needed 10 feet.
Yeah.
But as the code has expanded and master plans and the zoning has changed, by today's standards, they need 50 feet.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's not like in kind, like, you know, 10 by 10 is 10 by 10, they've increased the size of it, so it's new construction and they have to meet today's zoning code. And that's what's now caused this to need a variance to proceed.
Got it.
And it looks like on the plan, it's woods, behind it's woods.
Yes, yep, it's all woods behind it. I went on parcel access, there's a little cleaner view of that also. I did grab a couple of copies, I believe, of that. There's, I believe, 60 acres behind it, of nothing.
How many?
So-
6-0?
60 acres, yes.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
gotcha.
Yep. I looked at it today, 'cause I was kind of curious, I figured that might be a question.
Gotcha. Which property are we?
I think that's a lot of wetlands
one are we?
behind them, by the Marcy line.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not
House you
buildable
brought up
land.
was the house?
I looked at it right away.
197, 297, yeah, this is the one we're looking at. So we're looking at the addition right here. This is
Oh, so it's not a corner lot, I was thinking it was a corner lot,
Yeah.
because that radius.
Looks like that.
The original plannings of that area, there was
One thing you
It's supposed to be road, yeah.
it would connect those.
I went on almost
There are roads next to it
like
here.
the day we got that sent to us, I went out and looked.
Alrighty. You guys have any more questions?
Go take a look.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Here, this is their property. Talking about, this is the addition back here we're talking about, right? This is 60 acres.
The existing deck.
Correct. I think it's like only like that big. Existing. Add on it this way. Shit's huge.
It's all
60,
nothing back there.
60 acres. Huge.
Yeah, this property, what's this? 61.6. Thanks.
Okay. You guys, any other questions? Okay, so what we usually normally do is a site visit. We usually do that the Saturday before the next zoning board meeting, which in this case is the next meeting. The 11th, okay. So the next zoning board meeting would be Jan 11th, so the Saturday prior to that would be the 8th.
Okay,
So we'll plan on doing a site visit on that day, right around 9 o'clock.
okay.
Would be very helpful if you could locate the rear, have someone locate the rear property line.
Yeah.
Couple of flags, paint, just something to identify it, so we can get a feel.
It'd be helpful to stake out the addition as well.
Sure.
Yes,
Oh, yeah, it'd be great.
That's a couple
Yeah.
stakes at least in the
Yeah,
corners.
sure.
Right.
Yeah, you paint it out, you're gonna have to get it surveyed exactly,
Yeah.
but it'd be helpful to
Sure.
see that footprint.
Mhm.
We also like to set a public hearing date then for the 11th of January.
Okay.
So we'll have a public hearing on 1/11/22.
Sure. It's crazy to say, right?
If,
22.
If there are no further questions, I think we could let this gentleman go.
All right, well, thank you
Yeah,
guys very much.
You're free to go
Thank you.
tonight. Thank you.
Have a good holiday.
Yes.
Yeah, have a good holiday. Yeah, you too. So
See you next year.
Yes. Somebody had to say it, right?
You had it, right? Yeah.
This is my last meeting of the year.
It is.
Our last meeting of the year.
Wow.
And I always tell myself, everybody goes.
It's like
"2 weeks."
vacation started already.
The site visit is January
Don't
8th,
rain on my parade, it's fine.
9 o'clock.
All right, guys, so no further business before the board tonight. Could I make a motion to adjourn?
Yes, I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll somebody second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved, we are adjourned.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Sign your big payday.
Yes.
Get it to be.